Alrighty, guys, I'm a little late to this. I admit that, but I just finished watching Apple TV Plus's new show, The Studio. And, you know, if you've been watching the Access Blockbusters YouTube channel or the podcast for a little while now, you'll know actually I've been a big fan, and it surprised me as well, of these Apple TV Plus shows. It's surprising because a couple years ago, I think it's actually been 4 or 5 years now, when Apple TV announced, or Apple, the company, the iPhone company, the Mac computer company, announced they would be making a streaming service, we all kind of went, what? Really? And since then, you know, Amazon has its Prime Video, and so I guess we just now live in the age where these mega corporations can make these streaming services. It's just part of life now. But aside from all of that, all that corporate stuff, the quality of the shows, I mean, we all kind of went, at the announcement, I did at least, I was like, really? Apple? Well, this can't be that good. And then they announced the list of cast members that had already joined before the service had even launched. They were already filming things. They were getting shows ready for production and things like that. And they launched. And lo and behold, 5 or so years later, and Apple TV Plus has churned out some of the best content I've seen in a long time. Shrinking has become one of my favorite shows of all time, the 2 seasons of Shrinking that we have thus far. Ted Lasso, well, again, I acknowledge and I agree with everyone else that that season 3 isn't as good as the other seasons were. I love Ted Lasso, just the optimism of it all. But then again, I mean, if you know, because the warm and fuzzy, that's up my alley, but for those of you who want the more dark or the thrillers, we have Severance. And Severance, I've had some problems with, but overall, the mystery, the water cooler talk, there hasn't been a show that has been such a topic of office and friends and hanging out conversation, water cooler talk, than Severance has in a long, long time. I've also been watching Silo a little bit here and there, trying to catch up with season 1 so that I can finish season 2 as well, which just finished up. And that's been really interesting, although not my favorite show that they've ever done. And now, recently, they released a new show called The Studio. And I made a segment a while ago talking about how I just would beg and implore you, if you have Apple TV Plus or if you have a means to purchase the show or the season on Prime Video or whatever, please go watch Shrinking, because it's just been one of my favorite shows. You can go check out that segment where I talk about how it's just become one of my favorite shows. I'm making a similar plea here, but in a different way. If you are, and I'm assuming that most of you guys who are watching the YouTube channel and those of you who are invested in movies and TV shows, most of you are the kind of people that I'm about to talk about. I'm guessing you are. If you are interested in movies, but perhaps don't know the ins and outs of productions and whatnot, and I don't either, but I have a little bit more insight just because I've been following these things for a longer time, I think, than most people. If you are curious about, and it's all satire, so it's not 100% real and whatnot, they're making fun of things, but if you're curious about movies and entertainment and production and even the news outlets that cover them and CinemaCon and things that we talk about all the time, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, you know, media outlets, as well as productions and delays and shootings and pitches and you want to see how, you know, a look behind the curtain, as well as just laughing and seeing hilarity ensue, please watch The Studio. It's I think created by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and it's fantastic. I mean, Seth Rogen, Ike Barinholtz, Catherine Hahn, Catherine O'Hara, Bryan Cranston. It's so many fun surprises and cameos, but it's so funny. Every episode is a peek behind the curtain of the Hollywood industry. They're not afraid to completely roast themselves. A little ironic because, you know, the people that are making the show are, I mean, these kinds of Hollywood people. You know, the executive producers and the studio heads and whatnot are the ones who greenlit it. So it's a little bit ironic, and it's also a little bit ironic. They make fun of it in the show. Not a spoiler, but they make fun of it in the show that, you know, oh, who would ever make a show that's funded by a giant corporation? Well, here we are. So I mean, they're aware of it, and you can take that for what it's worth. But guys, I mean, I really, and I say this, you know, in terms of quality and laughs and whatnot, it's good, and you can make of it what you will. But it's a good show, in my opinion. And most of all, if you're just interested in what it looks like to, you know, what Hollywood kind of looks like, they're not afraid to pull punches in some areas. Now, I'm sure that they're covering up some other things, and they're trying to, you know, whatever, right? That's fine. And when I say covering up, I just mean they're not showing everything, every side of a production and every side of Hollywood. But I still think that this is the most that a TV show or a movie has been, at least in my life and my experience of watching movies and shows, this is the most that I've ever gotten to see behind the curtain in a way that's really funny and satirical. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend you check out The Studio. Guys, have you seen it, and what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below.